Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. And today I'm going to be showing you my setup for December and my bullet journal. And December is going to be a hectic month for me. I mean, it already is now in November that I'm doing this voiceover. So I decided to do a very simple, more minimalistic theme for December. So I literally use 0 colors, which is very unlike me. I only used black and white and a little bit of gray here and there. But I basically just did a mountain theme. And it's pretty simple to draw mountains. You just draw a bunch of squiggly lines, and then from the highest top you draw a line that goes downwards, which is also a little bit squiggly. And then on either the left side or the right side of this line you draw a shadow. And then in any empty white space you draw a little bit more shadow, and that's it really. So I didn't even use a reference picture, I just drew a random mountain-shaped figure and then drew these shadows in here. And I also drew in a little moon and then decided to make the background black just to add a little bit more contrast in the picture and just to give it a little bit more of an interesting look. And underneath the picture I just wrote out the title for December. It kind of looks like a Polaroid, which I really like. And then on the right side of the page I made my calendar. I made a pretty small calendar because I usually don't need a very big calendar for the month. So I messed up a little bit, but I used some whiteout to fix it, which unfortunately is not exactly the same color as the paper, so you can kind of still see it, but it's better than nothing, right? So here I'm going to be setting up my first mood tracker and also a habit tracker. I haven't done a habit tracker in a while, just because I usually am not very interested in tracking my habits. And so for this month I only decided to track 3 habits. And also normally for my mood tracker I use like a color tracking thing, and now I just made like a little graph. So for the habit tracker I just drew out these very small calendars, and so I'm just gonna track each day when I do that habit. So I'm just gonna be tracking my how often I play the piano, how often I do art, so drawing and painting, and I'm also gonna be tracking how often I read. And then at the bottom there was this empty space, so I decided to fill this up with some mountains, just using the same method I used in the cover page. Just draw a bunch of squiggly lines and then some other lines and then make some shadows, and it's actually really simple, and I really love how all of these mountain doodles had turned out. And I used this grit washi tape just to make it a little bit more interesting, because although I wanted to keep this very minimalistic, I am not one to find this very easy, so I included some washi tape here and there. And then my next spread is going to be my expense tracker and also a notes section. And so I just wrote out the title in these block letters, or then drew the mountains behind it. And then my very first weekly spread, and I was lucky to have enough pages to fill in 2-page weekly spreads, which I'm very happy with because this month is going to be pretty busy, so I need all the space I can get. And I wanted to make each week a little bit different, so for this week I just made these boxes, which give me a lot of space, but not a lot of space to like make doodles. So in the very left corner I drew some mountains to go with the theme, of course, and I really love how it turned out. And then my next weekly spread, like I said, I was gonna do a few different layouts for each week. So this is similar layout that I did for my October weekly spreads. I really like this layout because there's a lot of space where you can like make doodles and stuff, which I really like doing. And then I used my cool grey Tombow dual brush pen to make it just a little bit more interesting. Again, I'm not much of a minimalist person, so I just find it really difficult to restrain myself from using any color. And I do think the cool grey makes it look very nice. And then in the background I just drew these mountains again, which I think looks really nice in this setup. And then week number 3, I made this more vertical layout, and it's not my favorite layout because it's very, very vertical. There's not a lot of space horizontally, but there is a lot of space vertically. But I do think that this whole spread turned out really nice because everything, the whole space is filled up really nice. But we'll see in a bit what I mean. So the pen that I use for all of these spreads are our Unipin fine liners. I use them in different sizes. And then week number 4, I just used the same layout as I did for week number 2, although I made the boxes slightly smaller. So this week is going to be the Christmas week, so to speak. So I included these boxes where I will write down my gift ideas and a wish list. finally, my last weekly spread. I just made the same layout as I did for the first week, just these boxes. And I wanted to make half of these boxes in my cool gray color from my dual brush pen. And it's a little hard to see, and later on I did end up changing it, but I didn't record that. So I just colored them in to make them a little bit more visible. And initially I decided to keep the left side empty, but later on I also included a little drawing of that. So this is my final flip through. I really love this theme. I'm surprised by how well I can do a minimalistic spread. Usually I use a lot of colors, and it was quite difficult to not use a lot of colors, but I do love how this looks, so I'm probably gonna be doing this more often. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!